Hi, welcome to the quiz. You can answer along on quizalto.com, all for free. The exact URL of this quiz will be in the notes down below. Let's get started. Good luck. What is the purpose of the AWS IoT Device Management Jobs feature? To remotely execute operations on one or more devices in your fleet. To create employment opportunities in the IoT sector. To assign human resources to IoT-related projects. To schedule maintenance tasks for your physical IoT devices. The AWS IoT Device Management Jobs feature allows you to remotely execute operations on one or more devices in your fleet. These operations can include tasks such as deploying software updates, rebooting devices, rotating certificates, or performing diagnostics. What is the purpose of the removed status in an AWS IoT device management job execution? It shows that the job execution has been completed successfully. It indicates that the job execution was removed from the device before it completed. It signifies that the job execution is queued and waiting to start. It means the job execution is currently in progress. The removed status in an AWS IoT device management job execution indicates that the job execution was removed from the device before it completed. This can happen if the job was cancelled or if a new job was sent to the device replacing the current job. Which AWS IoT device management capability allows you to tunnel traffic to devices that are behind restricted firewalls? VPN gateway. Direct connect. Private link. Secure tunneling. AWS IoT Secure Tunneling allows you to establish bidirectional communication to remote devices over a secure connection even if they are behind restricted firewalls. This enables you to troubleshoot and manage devices without compromising your existing firewall settings. What is the maximum number of levels of child groups a parent thing group can have in AWS IoT device management? 10, 7, 3, 5. In AWS IoT device management, a parent thing group can have up to 7 levels of child groups beneath it, allowing for a total depth of up to 7 levels in the group hierarchy. However, each parent group can directly have only up to 5 child groups. Which AWS IoT device management feature allows you to monitor fleet metrics and set alarms? Device Monitor. Fleet Metrics. Fleet Analyzer. IoT Dashboard. Fleet Metrics in AWS IoT Device Management enables you to monitor your device fleet's health and set alarms based on aggregated metrics. This helps you track the overall state of your fleet and receive notifications when certain thresholds are exceeded. What is the primary purpose of AWS IoT Device Management? To develop IoT applications and services. To simplify onboarding, organizing, monitoring, and remotely managing IoT devices at scale. To create virtual IoT devices for testing purposes. To analyze IoT device data in real time. AWS IoT Device Management is designed to simplify the process of onboarding, organizing, monitoring, and remotely managing IoT devices at scale, helping organizations to efficiently manage their IoT device fleets. What is the maximum size of a job document in AWS IoT Device Management? 256 kilobytes. 32 kilobytes. 128 kilobytes. 64 kilobytes. In AWS IoT Device Management, the maximum size of a job document is 32 kilobytes. This limit ensures efficient transmission and execution of jobs on target devices, which may have limited resources. What is the purpose of device provisioning in AWS IoT Device Management? To analyze the performance of a device. To decommission a device from the IoT fleet. To update the firmware of a device. To register a device with AWS IoT and set up its identity. Device provisioning in AWS IoT Device Management is the process of registering a device with AWS IoT and setting up its identity. This involves creating a thing, attaching a certificate, and setting up policies to control the device's permissions. Which AWS IoT Device Management feature allows you to audit your IoT configurations to ensure they follow security best practices. AWS IoT Auditor. AWS IoT Compliance Checker. AWS IoT Device Defender. AWS IoT Security Manager. AWS IoT Device Defender, which integrates with AWS IoT Device Management, allows you to audit your IoT configurations to ensure they follow security best practices. It helps identify any misconfigurations and provides recommendations for remediation. What is the benefit of using pre-provisioned hooks in AWS IoT Device Management? They increase the security of the provisioning process. They enable bulk provisioning of devices. They reduce the time required for device provisioning. They allow devices to connect to AWS IoT Core before they are fully provisioned. Pre-provisioned hooks in AWS IoT Device Management allow devices to connect to AWS IoT Core and exchange messages before they are fully provisioned. This can be useful in scenarios where devices need to report their characteristics or state before being fully registered in the system. Which AWS IoT Device Management feature allows you to create a digital representation of your physical devices. Device Mirror. Digital Twin. Device Shadow. Virtual Device. The device shadow in AWS IoT Device Management is a JSON document that is used to store and retrieve current state information for a device. It provides a digital representation of your physical devices, allowing you to retrieve the last reported state and set the desired future state of the devices. Which AWS IoT Device Management feature allows you to register multiple devices in bulk? Group enrollment. Batch onboarding. Mass registration. Bulk provisioning. Bulk provisioning in AWS IoT Device Management allows you to register multiple devices at once, streamlining the process of adding a large number of devices to your IoT fleet. This feature saves time and reduces the complexity of device registration. Which AWS IoT Device Management feature allows you to define a set of remote operations to be run on one or more target devices? Scripts. Pipelines. Jobs. Workflows. Jobs in AWS IoT Device Management allow you to define a set of remote operations that are sent to and executed on one or more target devices connected to AWS IoT. This can include tasks such as deploying application or firmware updates, rebooting devices, rotating certificates, or performing diagnostics. What is the benefit of using fleet indexing in AWS IoT Device Management? It compresses device data to reduce storage costs. It increases the processing speed of IoT devices. It facilitates direct communication between devices. It enables efficient searching and querying of devices based on their attributes or data. Fleet indexing in AWS IoT Device Management allows you to index and search your devices efficiently based on thing attributes, shadow data, connectivity status, and device certificates. This makes it easier to find, monitor, and manage specific devices or groups of devices in your fleet. What is the benefit of using fleet indexing in AWS IoT Device Management? It enables peer-to-peer communication between devices. It compresses device data to save storage space. It increases the processing speed of your IoT devices. It allows you to search for devices based on their attributes or shadow data. Fleet indexing in AWS IoT Device Management allows you to index and search for devices based on device attributes or shadow data. This makes it easier to find and manage specific devices or groups of devices in your fleet. What is the purpose of the AWS IoT Device Management, Lifecycle Management feature? To predict the failure of IoT devices. To manage the entire lifecycle of IoT devices from provisioning to decommissioning. To monitor the battery life of IoT devices. To schedule maintenance for IoT devices. The Lifecycle Management feature in AWS IoT Device Management helps you manage the entire lifecycle of your IoT devices, from initial provisioning and activation to software updates, troubleshooting, and eventual decommissioning. Which AWS IoT Device Management feature allows you to organize your devices into groups. Node collections. IoT segments. Device clusters. Thing groups. Thing groups in AWS IoT Device Management enable you to manage several devices at once by categorizing them into groups. You can create a hierarchy of groups, and a device can be a member of multiple groups. What is the purpose of the Describe Job Execution Status in AWS IoT Device Management? It signifies that the job execution has failed. It shows that the job is queued and waiting to be executed. It indicates that the job execution is in progress and information about it is being retrieved. It means the job has been successfully completed. The Describe Job Execution Status in AWS IoT Device Management indicates that the job execution is in progress and the service is retrieving information about its current state. Which AWS IoT Device Management feature helps you track the life cycle of your certificates? Security Hub. IoT PKI. Certificate Manager. Cert Lifecycle. The Certificate Manager feature in AWS IoT Device Management helps you manage the lifecycle of your certificates, including creation, activation, deactivation, and revocation, ensuring secure communication between your IoT devices and AWS IoT. What is the primary purpose of the AWS IoT Device Management Registry feature? To store historical data from your IoT devices. To manage the licensing of IoT software. To register new users for your IoT application. To maintain a record of all your IoT devices and their metadata. The registry feature in AWS IoT Device Management maintains a record of all your IoT devices and their metadata. It helps you keep track of all devices in your fleet, their attributes, and certificates. What is the purpose of the IN_progress status in an AWS IoT Device Management job execution? It means the job execution is queued and waiting to start. It signifies that the job execution has failed. It shows that the job execution has been completed successfully. It indicates that the device has started the job execution but has not completed it. The IN_progress status in an AWS IoT Device Management job execution indicates that the target device has started executing the job but has not yet completed it. This status helps track the current state of job executions on devices. What is the maximum number of static thing groups you can create per AWS account by default? 5,000. 1,000. 10,000. 100,000. By default, AWS IoT Device Management allows you to create up to 10,000 static thing groups per AWS account. This limit helps manage resources effectively and can be increased by contacting AWS support if needed. What is the benefit of using thing groups in AWS IoT Device Management? To increase the battery life of IoT devices. To enable direct communication between devices. To manage multiple devices collectively and apply common configuration. To reduce the cost of data transmission. Thing groups in AWS IoT Device Management allow you to manage multiple devices collectively. You can categorize devices into groups and apply common configuration, policies, and perform operations on all devices in a group simultaneously, simplifying fleet management. What is the maximum number of dynamic thing groups you can create per AWS account by default? 50, 100, 500, 200. By default, AWS IoT Device Management allows you to create up to 100 dynamic thing groups per AWS account. This limit helps manage resources and can be increased by contacting AWS support if needed. Which feature in AWS IoT Device Management allows you to create a logical group of devices based on their reported state? IoT segments. Device clusters. Static thing groups. Dynamic thing groups. Dynamic thing groups in AWS IoT Device Management allow you to create logical groups of devices based on their reported state or other device attributes. These groups are automatically updated as device states change, making it easier to manage devices with similar characteristics or behaviors. And that's a wrap. Thanks to everyone who participated. Remember, you can answer along on quizalto.com, where you can keep track of your progress and find much more quizzes. We hope you had a fun and challenging time. Until next time. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more. Hit the bell icon to be notified as soon as we upload. Please leave a comment if you have any thoughts or suggestions, and if you think this video is worth sharing with someone who could benefit from it, please forward a link to them. See you next time. Thanks for watching.